boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, bugging like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the sports coma with Big Q and the guys.
All right. The roster moves we had today was we signed Sed back to practice squad, and then Kevin Austin got waived from the 53. So probably have a couple other little moves. It's just we juggle a couple of things here next couple days. So. Yeah, open up for questions. Yeah, I think it was just a good example of impact plays happen in any of the four quarters, and we had too many of them that negatively impact us early in this game, put us in behind. It wasn't all bad at the beginning of the game. I thought our defense, for example, offense, I felt like, first drive, you're doing well, got a first down in there, we're moving it, and then, third down missed stop, fourth down missed stop, and then defensively, I thought we responded pretty well. We did have the miss sack opportunity with the scramble. Sam made a great play, and then we responded really well, settled in, forcing the field goal. We make a, really poor decision in a play, and then obviously a couple of special teams plays early, and quickly, we made it. Yep, that's a big thing that we have to find a way to get better at. Something that we got to talk about, navigate. Obviously, it's not where it needs to be. There's little moments that are good. There's just not the consistency early in games, and so that's shown up too many times.
You script like the first 15, or are you kind of more like go back field?
Yeah, we have openers early in the game, and obviously the situations dictate which ones you call based off that. But you spend a lot of time early in games as far as formulating that and in all three phases.
On the team and how they've kind of responded.
Yeah, I think we got the right guys, and that's the beauty of this thing is, we're not where we want to be. We're not in the situation we anticipated. We're 0-3. We've missed 3 opportunities so far this year. But I think our guys are working the right way. They understand, it's all about how you respond to these situations. There's too many examples in our league of people, having setbacks like this and being able to respond the right way. So we got to be one of those teams that does it like those teams. We got to replicate that. We got to get better with some urgency. We got to get better quickly. But, I think our guys will respond the right way, and we got to get it done, though.
What more do you want from me?
Just as a leader, do you feel like you have the vocal side of the leadership that you need on this roster right now, or is that something that you're still building?
Well, I think leadership's always growing. I think it's always growing and evolving, and I think we got a lot of leaders on this team. We got a lot of good examples, guys who've been here for a number of years, guys who just showed up. We got to find our stride. We got to play better football, and when you play better football, it leads into all the other good stuff that we're really close to.
Opposing quarterbacks, like just finding some of your targets, like
Yeah, I think just, when you're playing mixed down football on first and second down, we're not getting the rush that we need in those pass action game situations, and they're creating layered concepts, and we're giving up too many of those explosive chunks in those situations because there's too much other good within that. But those flip the field, those flip drives, they score quickly at times, and so we got to do a better job of cleaning that up.
When you say you're getting close to, is it because the young players, is it a mental thing, is it physical that is stopping them from reaching the goal and just being close?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of everything. Obviously, we do have some young players. That's no excuse. Those guys,
we're probably I'm friend, but I'm the cleanup man.
The cleanup man. Feel sweet, the girlfriend off the feet. The reason I know so much about him is because he's moved up an old girl of mine.
Right off her feet.
That's the expectation. So we have to play cleaner football. We have to execute at a much higher level. We got to continue to evolve from a schematic standpoint and put ourselves in the best possible situation. And so, there's got to be urgency with this. We got to get it corrected. I think we do have the right people. We'll get there, and it'll be exciting to see our guys finally get there.
What's the process for just like the pre-snap penalties and getting those cleaned up?
Yeah. Obviously a big time discussion, and obviously, we've put a lot of time and investment on it from getting referees here during training camp, the last couple weeks in practice. We have to find the solution to how it translates going into the games. Obviously, that was a hostile environment. It's a loud environment, but that's what we expected. And we put ourselves in too many situations where, there's good, and then the momentum stops because of these silly penalties, and and really in all three phases had a piece of it. Yeah, we had the equipment. Yep, we had the same environment we had all week here.
Are they throwing that flag or not?
A couple here and there. I think that's the frustrating part is the procedural stuff. I feel like the last 2 weeks in practice has been much better. We've had very few of them, and so for them to come back up in the game, obviously we got to find where that can we can help that translation, because we're taking steps in the non-competitive environment. Now we got to translate to competitive.
Is there a thought to maybe scaling back on pre-snap motion to maybe limit your offense, but maybe it makes it cleaner? Or do you say the standard's the standard and that's not a possibility?
Combination of all that. I think we have to be very honest in our evaluation each week and put ourselves in the best position, because if we got to clean it up, however that means, play simpler football. If that's what it requires, you got to focus in on the little things, and so we definitely need to take some steps. We need to evaluate it. And that's what
I'm friend, but I'm the cleanup man.
The cleanup man. He'll sweep your girlfriend off her feet. The reason I know so much about him is because he's Who Dat, an old girl of mine.
Swept her right off her feet and into the
Coming out of the
jack.
game for something like that, like, are you considering doing things like that, scaling back a little bit?
we just got to find a way to execute at a higher level, and part of that is pre-snap. I think you talk about executing as post-snap, but pre-snap we got too many little things, and maybe we just got to clean it up and put ourselves in a better situation, because if we execute, we're doing just fine, but we're not executing at a high enough level pre-snap and post-snap.
Saying you would rather
I'm a friend, but I'm the cleanup man.
The cleanup man. He'll sweep your girlfriend off her feet. The reason I know so much about him is because he's Who Dat, an old girl of mine.
Swept her right off her feet and into the jack.
continue to watch the standard grow to meet where it is you're looking for, rather than start to take things out.
No, I think we just got to evaluate it from both sides of
we got
that
the cleanup
spectrum.
man
I think,
in the building,
we
y'all.
got to see how this week transpires as far as the game plan, what we need.
Man.
Again, we got to keep it tight, as tight as we can,
Don't
so
say
that we
clean
can
up
go out and
again.
execute really
Don't
well.
say clean it up.
You scale back, is that put more on the quarterback though? Like maybe even getting those easier
Don't
reads?
do it, Kellen. Don't say clean up man no more.
We'll have to see this thing. We'll have to see how this thing progresses. I think I think we can't lose the good that's going on. I think that, like, for example, tempo offense, there's been a lot of positives associated with this. The one little bit that seems to nag us a little bit is some of these pre-snap penalties associated with it, and so we got to play better in it because there's too much good going on. But we also have to evaluate it, and we can't keep having these pre-snap issues.
Ben, what did you see on the block punt and the punt return? Right? Did they particularly stand out?
Yeah, the block punt, I think, really we just got to execute at a higher level. We got to communicate, say simply, we're not all on the same page. And so that's when you're not on the same page, that's when a free runner shows up. And so, felt like, we have certainly a lot of control on that. The punt return, we have a couple shots down there. We don't get it, and then we lose leverage. And, they made a great play. They got ahead of the blocks and, got a big play out of it.
The punt block, was that specifically, you don't have to say who, but was that specifically some sort of an assignment error? Because it obviously seemed like you had enough guys.
Yeah. We're fine numbers wise. It was simply, not being on the same page, and it really was a combination of people. It wasn't just one person. There's not one person that blatantly, doesn't block a guy. We got a number of people that just have to be coordinated and understand their responsibilities and the calls, and everyone's a part of that one.
Spencer mentioned after the game yesterday about the need to sort of work, or desire at least to work on more scramble drill situations in practice. What's your evaluation of the scramble drill so far this season and how you execute it?
Definitely one of our notes on offense. We did not, plays are designed to go on time, and at times, a lot of times, in this league, they become off schedule, and we're not doing a good enough job. Jax was a great example. Jack did a phenomenal job. He got to the back corner in a scramble drill, found the voided zone, and catching a touchdown as a result of it. And there's too many other times where we're not mirroring the quarterback, running back to the quarterback to find ourselves opportunities where we can at least, steal yards. I think, so many of the top offense in our league, the scramble drill is certainly a big component. We're going to play a team this week that does it better than anyone in the league. And so they have the ability to play on schedule, but then off schedule, Josh is as good as anyone in this league.
I'll ask it the stupid way. Is that a reps thing? Is that a rules thing? Like, how do you go about working that and trying to recreate that environment in practice?
Yeah, there's definitely drills, and there's guidelines. There's guidelines associated with the rules of how to do the scramble drill, and then from there, it's a matter of executing that portion. We always say there's the two parts to every pass play. There's the original intent, and then there's the scramble phase. And the scramble phase shows up for every single team in this league. And so, the play's still alive. There's still big play opportunities. Their first explosive play is a scramble. We have a sack opportunity. They turn into scramble. Their receiver does an excellent job of working away and mirroring the quarterback. And so, those things are things that we need to grow in.
Pass defense, how do you feel like y'all against like play actions? How do you feel like y'all?
Yeah, I think that goes back to that mix down situation. Obviously, there's been a few play action chunks early. Again, we just got to do a better job there.
I know you said yesterday, I'm paraphrasing, that after a loss like that, the whole kind of team is tested and the resolve that you have to have. From your perspective, do you call like your dad who was a coach or somebody who may have been there, just to make sure you don't
That's a great
change the
question.
waiver in any way?
I think we just got to
Great
communicate
question.
really closely as a staff, as an organization. Continue to
question.
communicate about this. We got to have the same message, and really link in together as far as being very specific and intentional on what we need to address, what we need to keep encouraging. Because again, any game you can come out of it and see positives and see negatives, and so we got to acknowledge both sides of the spectrum. We got to keep this thing moving. We're 0 for 3. We got opportunities ahead of ourselves. We need to focus on that, but correct the things that we need to correct and get this thing moving.
Man, I'll tell you what, fam. First of all, shout out to you guys. Much love to the great Saint Think Tank and the Who Dat Nation. Welcome. Now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Much love to you guys. Appreciate y'all for being in the live on this one. This one here is Saints the morning after. Went wrong versus the Sea Chickens. I can't even call them that. Shout out to the Seattle Seahawks folk. They decimated, dominated, and destroyed the New Orleans Saints up at the 12th man. They were not, and they never showed up for the flight. The team never showed up there. They did everything that you can do incorrectly in terms of a complete football team. They got washed, dried, and folded and stuffed in the draw. That's just basically they completed the entire clothing cycle, if you will. So big ups to you guys. Appreciate y'all for being in the live. OG Jerry, Linda, DGX, shout out to you, bro, from the Lou. I see you, my man. Appreciate you for being here. Sonia was popping with you. Good to see the ladies in the building. Creole Neto 5844, shout out to you, fam. Student, aloha to student. Good to see you in the building as well. Big Velly is in this thing as well. Good to see you. Brute Saint, what's up, my man? Appreciate you. Bayou Bo, Francia, how you doing? Appreciate you as well. Much love. X11, he said he sounds better than Dennis Allen, though. That's one bright spot, indeed, man. And it's interesting, man. We have to see, Pelicans, Nola, much love, fam. Appreciate you. I see you, Mac and G. Shout out to you, man. Tim Dunn, shout out to you, brother. Chantel, much love, says, do you think the Saints have a chance to beat Buffalo? Yeah, they have a puncher's chance. I don't think they'll beat them. I thought that the Saints' closest opportunity to victory was the Arizona game, and they fuddled that one away. San Fran, because San Fran simply did not have any of its key offensive contributors. Never mind that, they still won. And Seattle, which was a team that was missing several pieces in the secondary, they were not a juggernaut, even though the Saints made them look like it. They just couldn't do it. And Buffalo is a team that is one of the elite teams, even though they're not playing perfect football. Very few are right now, but they'll do enough to beat the Saints in Buffalo. And I think the Saints will pull up a gallant effort, but I don't think the Saints beat the Buffalo Bills unless they eat Popeye spinach, each one of them eat it, and turn into something that we haven't seen this year, which is a competent football team that is disciplined, intelligent, and not stupid enough to shoot itself in the foot every chance and self-sabotage. Unless they become something else, I give them no chance against this Buffalo Bill club. I mean, you can give them 1% chance if I have to do percentages. I say they have a 1% chance. They have a puncher's chance because everything could change depending on if Buffalo shows up and just overlooks the Saints as a trash organization or team and can do that. But once again, the Saints have to be intelligent enough to take advantage. They are a mess right now. It's a mess. And Kellen Moore, and then the crazy part about it is, man, it takes a lot of stuff to get the Saints right. What's going on with this team? It doesn't make any sense for veterans to behave this way over the first 3 weeks. A healthy team like they never played before with each other. You had Elvin playing with Chris Olave, with Rashid Shaheed. These guys have been playing football together for some time. Spencer Rattler's playing well enough to win games. I know he misses on a few throws if you look at the tape, and that's due large part because the line is so rickety. Like he doesn't even have in some of these the film, and we'll look at it on Patreon tomorrow, family. He doesn't even have time to go through his progression on a few of these throws. So at some point, if you're the New Orleans Saints, man, you gotta look in the mirror, and it's a lot of talk going on with the Saints. The talk is over with, man. It's enough talk. It's time for action. You guys are getting paid. They're not delaying your paychecks. You need to show up and show out, man. And we shouldn't have to tell these guys that, but I guess we do. What's up, Bird Talk? Shout out to you. Thank you, Chantel, for that. I don't think I think it's Buffalo. And I picked Buffalo to win when we did the schedule show. I don't think they beat the Buffalo Bills. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think the Saints are on their way to an 0-5 situation. I mean, I say 0-5, 0-4. I hope I didn't say a Freudian slip there. 5th game is against the Giants. I hope they can beat the Giants, but then again, the Saints' main adversary is beating themselves. They can't stay out of their own way. What's up, DJ? Shout out to DJ. State of the Pels 985 live in the building. Snake Bite as well. Big ups to you and all of the fam, man. Listen, shout out Saints Full Circle Podcast. What's up, fam? He said, Q, I'm going defensive heavy in this draft. I ain't mad at you, bro. Also, when you're drafting, bro, feel free to throw a few of those picks on some offensive guards, will you? Let's do that. Let's pick up a couple of guards, shall we? I mean, we have to pick up a few guards here. My goodness. We need some help. The guard position, I was saying that the last couple of years. Last year I was saying that the guard position was in a bad shape anytime you get Lucas Patrick as a starter. We needed to trade. We didn't do anything. And ultimately it kicked us in the backside, right? I don't think it is with it. I'm just keeping it real, fam. This team is not really doing much. All right. What's up, Gundam? Shout out to Gundam. Big ups to the rest of the fam. What's up, Ross the Boss as well? Gundam says we can win. Yeah, you got a puncher's chance. Black Major. Shout out to your fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. What's up, Hendy and Newton? Shout out to your O-line, defense, and a kicker. My goodness, man. This guy's missed, how many kicks in a row now? He's missed. Didn't Groupie miss like a kick every week? I mean, every week now? Is that right? Am I right here? Is that my mind's fighting against that logic? Did Blake Grupe miss a field goal every week for the last 3 weeks? Put that in the chat. Is that true? Or am I just hallucinating that? Chantel says Cleveland sucks too. It don't make me feel good that Cleveland is in the same boat as us. It really doesn't. But thank you, Chantel. I appreciate you sharing your pain, sweetie. All right. Yeah. Okay. Mac and G says yes. Beverly, what's up, Bev? She says, yes, he did. Yeah, he did, Q. Brother DeWine says, yep, he missed every week. Student says 3 in a row. That is insane. Do you guys realize how ridiculous that is? And it's so ridiculous. What's up, Nola boy? Shout out to you, brother. This is awful, man, that we have a kicker here. This guy didn't make it. It's crazy, the dichotomy of, because this guy was perfect in preseason, except for he missed one in the rain, but was kicking like a wildebeest and setting up for something nice, and then comes into it the first 3 weeks of the season, he's missed a field goal. He's missed a field. But it's covered up by how bad the team is, though, everywhere else, and how funky they are, right? You know, and like I said, I like Kellen Moore. I really do. But the question when I was watching it, and shout out to my pops, we was talking about this on yesterday's recap stream. If y'all didn't get a chance to check that thing out, please do. Because we was giving some good game, pops was dropping some jewels. I asked the question, I said, I was looking at Kellen Moore, and I was saying Kellen Moore, man, is a very likable guy. Obviously, he's a smart man, right? I mean, he knows the X's and O's, and he's a cool dude. You know, you can see the media people like to talk to him, and he's very approachable. He's a very good dude. You can look at him and see he's a cool dude. He's a good guy, right? You can you could talk some football with Kellen Moore, right? He'll talk to you. Yeah, this, that, and third. He'll talk to you. He'll stop in the store and talk X's and O's, which I actually believe that. But does his team respect his coaching acumen? I mean, the Saints have not. I mean, this is like they have went the defense. Like even the defense is the offense was inconsistent. The defense was really greatly, or better yet, further along in terms of what we seen earlier, in terms of what they could be. Like we seen that the defense, their synergy and chemistry, they were locked in more so than what we seen from the offense. So you would think, okay, at least the defense you don't have to be concerned about. But just like with everything, fam, when the first couple of weeks, and we're in week 3, there's more than enough tape on Kellen Moore, offense, defense, and special teams where people can break the Saints down. And the San Francisco 49ers, and you've seen it in the Arizona game if you watch the film, even with the 49ers, they were getting behind the linebackers. They were running wide receivers behind the linebackers. The Saints was dropping the same coverage. And Staley has to do something about that because they figured out his defense. Fam, you watch football and you see that how easily the ball was being moved on the Saints defense up in Seattle. There was no resistance. The quarterback had like 3 incompletions. He had 3 incompletions. The Seattle team went wherever it wanted, when it wanted in terms of its offense. It wasn't very little resistance being put up by the Saints defense. There was no defense. It was just offense. It was no D. It was no D. It was offense. It was offense to us to watch it. But this is the crazy part about it. Like you watch the tape, man, they're getting behind them linebackers, man. He has to adjust, and one of them guys got to come out of there, man. Now, even though Pete Werner had a lot of tackles and all that, but the Saints are going to have to do something about that situation. They need more athleticism inside the center of the defense. Just talking about the defense, there's a number of things that you can go into. It's crazy. A lot of what the Saints were doing, teams have figured it out, and they've started piecing it together. And every other team is going to start breaking the film down and looking, we can exploit these athletically challenged linebackers that sit in the center of the Saints defense. And to be quite honest with you, the running game is not all that either. The Saints are kind of not doing anything well. The special teams completely fell through the floor yesterday. Completely. You know, where's my sound effect for when they fall through the floor? Yeah, here you go. That's what the Saints defense did, and the special teams did. That's a space. Bumbling. That was the kicker right there. Yeah, that was Blake Grupe. He fell out too. That's what happened with the Saints. I mean, they were a complete disaster. And then it kind of, that's what brings it to light. Like, okay, Kellen Moore is not going to go and curse at these guys like Sean Payton. He's not a cursor. He's not going to go point his finger at their to tip of their nose and say, you are the problem or you guys need this type of stuff. He's not going to do that. So he's going to talk, come on, guys, we got to play better. That's his stick. Is that enough? Is that going to be enough for the Saints this time? And like I said, I've been warning family members about this, even though I believe in the talent of our team. But I was talking, remember I was mentioning the psychology of players like Demario Davis and Cam Jordan and all these other guys that were here for the last 4 years and have got infected by losing. Remember I mentioned that? Put one in the chat if you guys remember that. Because I got on a spiel and really got pissed off at Demario Davis not because of the coach speak that he comes with. Like later on in the year, last year, he talked about how when they literally are eliminated from the playoffs, he says, we're not going to panic. What do you mean you're not going to panic? I guess you don't need to panic because y'all are done. You're cooked. Remember he had that long speech coming to the Who Dat Nation about the future. Oh, shut up, bro. What are you talking about? We don't want to hear that, man. That's not the proper place or time to have that type of speech and telling us. You need to tell your goddamn teammates that. I get pissed off right now thinking about it. And Demario Davis is a loved person, but that guy there, man, he was the one that never batted an eye or pointed a finger or anything aggressive at any of the losing the Saints were doing for the last 4 years. And he was supposed to be the leader of that team defense. He never said not one damn thing negative about how that team was ran by Dennis Allen, his homeboy. And I used to say how Demario Davis would literally march them effing players off the edge of the volcano behind Dennis Allen and never open or use a brain cell or a word to criticize how the team was losing. He's the perfect pitch man to come along with all of this F stuff about patience and all this kind of stuff. No, the patience is done. We've been patient. We gave y'all a chance 4 years ago, for the last 4 years, and all you did was sit up here and insult the support base by telling them to look beyond the results. And Mickey Loomis is playing games as a general manager. And the media people ain't gonna, they're not gonna get too hardcore with the people because the Saints will not give them a press pass. I told y'all that too. They want complicit, silent, and very agreeable media coverage at all time. They will take your press pass away from you. Hey, a panel member was telling me, Q, go do that. I kick in the door on their ass if they deny my press pass and I spend hundreds of dollars to get there. They decide on if you get in the door, and if they don't like what you're saying, you don't get in the door. So why I'm playing no games? I got a bully pulpit and I'm gonna use it. If it's the truth, I'm going to say it, where it's for my team or against my team. So what I'm saying is, where do the team go from here? They say, okay, Q, they were telling me in the comment section in DMs, they said, Q, this is what the national people say we was going to be, this type of thing. And I'm sitting up here saying to myself, we don't have to be what they say we're going to be. They don't know who we are. But obviously some of the losing and the bullshit, losing garbage time mentality infected this team. The Dennis Allen era has infected this team. It really has. We still have players on this team that still have that losing garbage, losing ass, give up mentality. And it showed its ugly face in Seattle. I mean, they had a whole week of practicing, and everybody, his mama, his grandma, and the grandpa, and the grandpa, and even the babies knew that if you was going to Seattle, that you would have to use a silent count because it's very loud. Did the Saints look like they had a silent count or knew what they was doing? Hell no, they didn't. No, they didn't. They didn't use anything. They just went up there and stunk. And that's the point. And I don't care if Cam get on the plane and cuss at him and all that. Most of them dudes have dead on the plane. They sitting up there while Cam cussing at me like, yep, what, looking at their bank thing on the phone. Let me see if the Saints deposited this money right here. What you say, Cam? Oh, I ain't shit? Okay, I need to learn to tackle better? Yes, sir. They in the phone, checking the check. Checking the bank account. Yep, that check cashed. Okay, what you said, Cam? I ain't shit? Okay, yeah. Man, come on, man. They got where do we go from here? That's the question, right? Where do we go from here? Well, shit, there's only one way to go up if you're at the bottom of the barrel. There's only one way to go up. But the question is Kellen Moore the man to take this? Can he do anything with these veterans? It's the veterans. The veterans are the guys that's missing blocks. The guys are not catching. The guys are dropping passes. The guys is missing tackles. The guys not getting the pass rush. It's the veterans. It's the veterans, and the bright spot, ironically, is a lot of the young players. And we can't say that about Kool-Aid McKinstry because he getting toasted. Might have to come up with a new nickname for Kool-Aid until he get his facts straight. Could y'all help me out? Kool-Aid McKinstry has the coolest nickname on the Saints team. What is his proper title right now? Until Kool-Aid get back to being smooth, what is Kool-Aid's name now, man? Could y'all help me out? Give me some nickname options. Y'all are very intelligent. I'm pretty sure y'all give me some options. You heard me? Let's see what y'all. What's a fitting name for Kool-Aid McKinstry right now? Oh my goodness, Kool-Aid, man, he getting killed. He getting filleted, fricasseed, all kind of stuff going on with young Kool-Aid. And I like Kool-Aid. He's a young player, but they're gonna tear him up this year. And that's what they tell us. They're going right after him often and early and often until he proves himself. So we have to figure it out. But yes, a lot of the older established veterans are not doing what they're supposed to do, ladies and gentlemen. And you see it. So Kellen Moore can say it up to the point. The reason I'm bringing up the veterans is because these are the people that have to be the voice of the team. Now, Kellen could tell these guys, but Kellen can't go out there and throw a pass or catch a pass or block or kick a field goal or make a tackle. He can't do any of that. All he can do is set the environment for the team to do it. If they're out there making mistakes, the only thing he can do is force them to practice more or pull them off the field. Kellen obviously have the intelligence and the temperament for him. Look, he's not frizzled up here. He's handling these questions pretty good. And truth be told, Kellen Moore this is what he is. Like if he wins big, and we haven't seen him win big yet, but during the 3 games, he's had the same temperament. He's very even keeled. I think even if we have won the game, he would be the same way, which is respectable. But at the same time, is this coaching style agreeable to the personnel that we currently have on the team? The coaches on the field, the team captains, AK-41, Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, and the older established veterans on the team, Eric McCoy. These gentlemen, they have to step up and put their foot down. And it's difficult for them to do that because a lot of these people we talking about are the ones making a mistake. So how are we going to put our foot down to the players, the younger players, when you're the player that's screwing it up? So it's hard to lead when you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're not going to be the youngsters like, man, how you just got burnt by that dude. How you going to tell me to keep my eyes up? Well, that's the truth, ain't it? We're going to see how it works, man. So I just question, not so much Kellen, but like, okay, Demario's seen this before, but I don't know. I don't know if I could trust Demario Davis with saying, hey man, this, that, and the third. I don't know. Because what I've seen from him the last 4 years doing Dennis Allen, I don't like how he was so agreeably attached to Dennis Allen and refused to say anything negative about Dennis Allen. I refuse to, and that really kind of dropped my thought process and be like, dude, you kind of, I don't know if you just a fronting or something. I don't know. It's something not right about that. Because the person that I think you are, or what you are, you're supposed to be a guy that tells the truth, and you kind of not telling the truth about this Saint stuff over here. You playing games, kind of. It's like 2 different looks. You know what I'm saying? Which got me like, oh, I don't know about you, dude. But I Cam is not like that. Cam will talk. Elvin talked. Lattimore talked until they got rid of him. Michael Thomas talked. He left during his free. So they had a couple of guys that were laying the smackdown in terms of the truth about what was going on with the team. But are these older guys that's here been infected by losing so much so that they don't know how to win anymore? I mean, I don't know. It's just a question, man. So, I mean, Kellen Moore, man, he got a tall order, because even though the national people are telling the Saints they're going to be picking for the 1st round draft pick, that don't mean you have to believe that. You don't. Crystal Light McKinstry. Oh, that's terrific, man.
He ain't lying.
Oh, y'all crazy, man. Who did that? That was you, Robert. Oh, okay. See, I told y'all the Great Saint Think Tank. Y'all are crazy, man. That's awesome, man. Crystal Light McKinstry. Oh, man, that's awesome, man. That was Robin. Shout out to Robin, man. I seen that comment, man. That just had me. That just made me go. That's like, okay, I need some help on that. Crystal Light McKinstry. That's funny as hell, man. Oh, Robert, you got. Let me give you a round of applause for that one. Oh man, that's crazy work. That's crazy work. That's diabolical work, Robert. Crystal Light McKinstry. You know I'm gonna use that shit, right? Oh man, because we done elevated. It was Caesar Salad Ruiz. We don't call him that no more. His name is Chicken Salad Ruiz. Caesar's Chicken Salad Ruiz, and now we got Crystal Light McKinstry. Oh my goodness, that's good, man. That is so funny. Oh, that needs to be a meme. You ain't lying, Jeff. Man, that's funny, man. Crystal Light McKinstry. And he gonna keep that name until he gets back to playing business. All right, Saints Full Circle Podcast says, cue it to Quincy Riley, the rook, to come in the game and get. That's true, brother. That's all. That's a great point. It took the youngsters. Great point. That's right. That's why these youngsters need to play. They need to get in the game and they need to be some. Oh man, Justice says, hey, McKinstry, until he stopped being so friendly and locks up. Yeah, bro. Right. See, you say they're messing over Kool-Aid messing over himself by playing sloppy. Bro, the man leaped. The dude did a Saquon Barkley over his head, bro. He didn't turn backwards. That's all he could have. He hit a 360 over the top of him. The dude jumped over Kool-Aid, bro. I mean, my bad. Crystal Light McKinstry. Until he can get better at that, what can I tell you? He needs to get better at that. I'm just being honest, bro. That's great. That's diabolical work, though, Robert. You own one on that one, bro. Oh yeah, that's good, man. So I asked for it though. I said, fam, we need to come up with a better name for Kool-Aid McKinstry because he ain't playing all smooth and everything. And I'm like, man, what do we got? Crystal Light McKinstry is perfect. All right, so anyway, man, that's what I'm talking about in this one. This Saints the Monday after show. I like just talking about it, man. And not approaching it because we know some of the stuff, and we'll get into some of the articles as well, and kind of break some of the stuff down and get some insight. But really, that's my whole question is like, okay, we know where we are now. And like I said, we know what the national people were saying about the Saints. But, people talk mess about people all the time. They talk about great people all the time. So that doesn't mean that you have to accept it as your stuff. So I just don't understand why and it's crazy work because the veterans are the ones that stinking so bad. They're stinking so bad. It's horrible. So you can't blame it on the young people. The young people like Spencer he ain't perfect, but he's doing well enough for the Saints to win games. He got to push the ball up the field a little bit more, and even Elvin Kamara, the pass to Elvin Kamara, fam, that was on Elvin. What was he doing? I heard the little thing, but the reality is like that was a touchdown, fam. The deep pass to Elvin Kamara, for whatever reason, he turns around and start backpedaling for whatever reason. See, it's always the veterans, fam. If he stays forward and is running, he runs underneath that ball and right into the touchdown. But he turns around and backpedals for what? It is these veterans that are really gumming up the works, and I just don't get it, man. Why would he do? I was like, dog, what are you doing? Like, he literally, you can't just this man turned his whole body and was backpedaling and then reaches for the ball with his right hand. Like, dog, what are you doing? Just turn around and run up under the ball. It's these damn veterans. So, I mean, people can lay off on that. Yeah, Sonya, so he said, that's what I said, Q. I mean, I was in the show, I said, what is Alvin Kamara doing? Why is he backpedaling? He has the guy beat. Why would you turn your entire body and backpedal and then the ball goes over your head? He runs up under that damn ball. That's a touchdown. That's what I'm saying. All of these plays by these veterans that are not coming through when their number is called. Drop touchdowns, misjudging the ball, missed tackles, bad blocking. It's just a comedy of errors. And the third week is usually when you start seeing some improvement, and they bottom out. And I'm like, there is something terribly wrong with the psychic of this team. And it's not Kellen Moore said or done anything mischievous or negative to the team. He set a very good floor or culture in terms of positivity and all this kind of stuff. What we seeing on this is on the players. A lot of this is on the damn players. If you can dial up a play, and if the damn guy don't catch the ball or whatever the case is, I mean, it's just a whole nother mess of crap. The players have to step up and handle up. That's what I said, man. That's what I was looking at. I was like, man, these veterans are failing us right now, man. But they ain't failing to catch that damn check. What's up, Backwood? Shout out to you, man. Yeah, so, man, we got to do something to get these young players. Not all of them except for Crystal Light McKinstry. But outside of that, man, let's go into some Crystal Light McKinstry. That's a killer. That's a killer. All right, anyway, man, let's hit this article up on the Monday stream after the morning or the Monday after, baby. The little good and the mostly bad and ugly from the Saints route in Seattle. Shout out to Bob Rose. All right, and this is what he dropped on us about the hapless game that happened. The hapless Saints were outplayed and completely outclassed 44-13. It was even more embarrassing than the score would indicate, making it more of a humiliating, was the fact that this was a Seattle team that is quarterbacked by Sam Darnold and was missing their three starters in the secondary. No need to elongate the torture much further than the Saints already did on Sunday. Here's the good, the bad, and ugly of the Sunday debacle. That's bad when you start talking debacle talk. The good, pretty much nothing. Okay, let's give this a shot anyway. New Orleans played very good run defense in the first half, limiting Kenneth Walker III to 7 rush yards on 8 carries. For the game, Seattle averaged 2.6 yards per rush, with Walker gaining only 38 on the ground. Granted, Seattle didn't have to run the ball with the way the Saints were gifting them points. Still, it's at least something for Brandon's unit to take out, otherwise a putrid display. It was only 1 week, but plenty of teams have an off day or even get routed by an opponent only to go on to bounce back for a solid season. It is more than possible for Kellen Moore and the Saints to recover. This is, after all, a rebuilding year. However, the back to the drawing board philosophy tastes a little more sour when your opponent is the Buffalo Bills next on the road. Indeed. The ugly, Bob just said, man, I'm going to put them all together. The bad and the ugly. Offense, defense, and special teams, penalties, and self-inflicted blunders. No need to break this up into 2 categories. All 3 units were utterly pathetic from start to finish on this day. They didn't get off the plane, fam. They really didn't. The offensive unit that was without Tolly, Trevor Penning, Dylan Redunce, and with Cesar Ruiz just plain bad. New Orleans was able to run the ball with some effectiveness and had some success with short, quick throws. A decent drive that started the game ended with a poor deep throw by Spencer to a wide-open Alvin Kamara on a 4th and short. It was downfield from there, especially once the game got out of hand. Rattler didn't have any bad numbers, but was also inaccurate on a few big play opportunities. The offense is getting the ball to Kamara, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and Jawan Johnson. The problem is that next to none of those plays are down the field, and none of them are shaking loose to create big plays on their own. This is a great point of contention here for the Saints, that separation is not happening. This is true. We're not gaining the separation. The defenders almost feel like they're super glued or gorilla glued to the backs or the sides of the Saints wide receivers. The separation is simply not there. A perfect example is Olave, who had 10 catches for 57. Y'all was talking about that during the stream. I was like, he can have 20 catches. In this game, if he got the ball 20 times, it'll be less than 80 yards. 20 catches for 80. No effect on the game at all. And is averaging a meager 7 yards per reception on the year. That can't happen for a proposed number one guy. The Saints playmakers are simply not making plays, and their lack of blocking or infuriating penalties from the offensive line isn't giving them extra opportunity to do so. Going to the defense, a microcosm of this entire day for New Orleans was summed up in 2 plays on Seattle's opening drive after the failed 4th down pass to Kamara. On the first play, Brian Bresee blew a sure sack on Sam Darnold. Yes, right. And Sam Darnold spent out of that sack that resulted in a 29-yard pass to Jackson Smith-Njigba. 2 plays later, linebacker Isaiah Stallbird batted down a pass on a beautiful blitz to force a field goal attempt. However, a dumb personal foul by Brian Bresee gave Seahawks a first down and led to an easy gift touchdown to open the game. That was also another thing. They had him stopped, and we've seen that, fam. We've seen that happen several times. Through the last 3 weeks, the Saints will have them stopped in some kind of way. They'll have a penalty of something that would then gift the offense an opportunity for a new set of downs. We've seen that happen all the time. This was a great point because out of all the other stuff we've seen, you kind of forget that, but this is true. So, yes, the Saints played good run defense. Their performance against the pass was abysmal. New Orleans had a non-existent pass rush, while their coverage was worse than crumbling dam against a fast-rising river. Damn, Bob went nature on their ass. Smith-Njigba tortured the Saints defensive backs with 5 catches for 96 yards and in basically less than 3/4 of action. Sam Darnold riddled New Orleans for 218 yards while completing 14 of 18 passes. Downright ridiculous. And this is not the first time that we've seen a quarterback who is a mediocre quarterback. We've seen the guy from San Francisco last week, Matt Jones, a backup, come in there and play like, he could have he did a Brock Purdy impression on the Saints. He was passing too. The Saints could not generate any pass rush. They didn't make the man uncomfortable back there, and he torched them. Then, of course, the special teams, which is the most egregious unit out of all of this. Saints gave up a 95-yard punt return for a touchdown. Another easy touchdown was gifted as a result of a block punt. When the Saints showed a flicker of life, they managed to snuff that out by giving up a 60-yard punt return that led to another easy Seattle touchdown. Yet another Blake Grupe missed field goal only added further insult to an embarrassing special team display, all of which happened in the first half. The game was done in the first quarter. The first quarter was over with, man. I was like, the game is over with, because you could see how they were playing. It just wasn't any energy. It was no urgency. So to sum it up, the Saints couldn't block, avoid penalties, which 8 in the first half, 11 for the game, create big plays offensively, cover receivers, rush the passer, tackle a kick returner, guard against a block punt, or even make field goals. That is damn near all of the fundamental things that you need to do as a team to win games. So they couldn't block, avoid penalties, create big plays offensively, cover receivers, rush the passer, tackle a kick returner, guard against a punt block, and make field goals. Golly. Any momentum taken away from the first 2 weeks were blown up and 30 minutes of bloopers during the first half at Seattle. The Saints now stagger into Buffalo next week to take on a Bills team far superior than the Seattle Seahawks. Shout out to Bob Rose. Bob is pissed. Let him have it, Bob. Let him have it. It's crazy, man. It was really, really ridiculous. The flag situation was just the penalties, and we've talked about that. They had 13 penalties in the first week of action. They dropped it to, I think, 6, and then now they're back up to 11. So you try to look at it as a building moment going forward, but where do you go with this? Because you can look at the first one, say, okay, this, and then the second one, okay, we can see what's happening. Then the third, the bottom flaw, and then the Seattle team is not really that good. They're not really that great of a unit. So why did they look so drastically bad? Why did they not give an F to play football? Why did they go up there and lay it down when they know? That's why I'm questioning the mindset of it, because I'm like, dude, you're a team that is 0-2 going into this game. You must know, and I'm pretty sure the coaches, all of them, are telling you, fam, we have to play hard and smart in this game because we do not want to open the season up 0-3. We don't want to go there. We don't want to be in an 0-3. An 0-2 hole is one thing, one win, and you halfway out. But 0-3 hits differently. And you know what's going to really be stinky? 0-4 on their ass. That's really going to be something, because I'm not giving them a chance to win against Buffalo. I'm just going to be honest with you. All right, what's up, DJ Field Code? DJ Field Code 79 says, ship them boys some gumbo. Q, bro, they need to. I don't know what's going on with them guys, bro, but they suck. They got to get it together. Cam was looking all pathetic up at the presser, and I guess he's wait till we get on the plane. We're gonna fuss. You got to fuss at a guy that's a millionaire player checking his bank account. Cam, yeah, it's not the same, man. All right, and then of course, man, this is another one from NOLA.com. Shout out to them. They kind of covered a little bit. They talked about the disaster there was and a 5-hour flight back on top of it. Phil Galliano has got to be going crazy, man. His unit was pathetic. That's the worst special teams play that I've seen in a very long time for the New Orleans Saints. What a disaster. They could apply the Saints' entire performance Sunday, but for now, let's just focus on the special teams, which was about as rough a game as a team could have. The punt return for a TD, block punt, doing both first quarter seems impossible. That's what the Saints did to bury themselves. That wasn't all. They gave up a 60-yard punt return, a kickoff return in the second half that set up another touchdown. And Blake Grupe missed the field goal in the first half. The 5-hour flight back home had to feel even longer for special teams coordinator Phil Galliano. That was a disastrous haul for the Saints. And then, of course, we talk about the penalties in microcosm. Now, this what kind of digs into it. Flags galore. Saints aren't good enough to beat most teams. To get a win, they'll have to play a clean game. 3 games into the season, and it's clear they can't do that yet. Penalties haunted the Saints again, just like they did in week 1. The Saints committed 11 penalties against Seattle, including 8 in the first half. Brian Bursi's unnecessary roughness penalty for a headbutt, butting a player after a third down stop extended Seattle drive leading to a touchdown. The Saints also had a false start on 4th down attempt and ended up having to punt. The punt was returned for a touchdown. Cleaning up the penalties should be a priority for Kellen Moore if he wants to get the first win anytime soon. And like I said, anytime Kellen Moore says the cleanup thing, I hit the cleanup, man, because that's what Dennis Allen was saying yesterday. So, straighten it out or whatever it is. I might put some Lattimore if he starts saying that up here. But at the end of the day, it's just like stuff that you have to fix. You have to fix it. You got to be Mr. Fix It, I imagine. You got to be Mr. Fix It and turn it around. Now, of course, after we talk about the articles, we'll give some solutions. And the solutions, you all know what it comes to: players being disciplined. Why are these guys so undisciplined? I know they're intelligent, but why do they display non-intelligence? I know some of them have hearts, but why don't the team reflect guts and courage? Why does the team look like this? And it's not the fact that they're that beat up. They have some people missing on the offensive line, but the playmakers are there. Chris Olave's there, Rashid Shaheed, Juwan Johnson, Elvin Kamara. Those guys are there on offense. The playmakers are on defense. DeMario Davis and some of those guys are there. So where's the heart, the guts, the courage, the passion, the integrity? Where's the intelligence? Where are the things that make a good team, like you're supposed to possess? The never say die mentality. Where's the account? And the biggest word is, where the hell is the accountability? Because unless you have any of those great things, you're not going anywhere. You're not going to do anything. Before any of the talking heads from the national media talk about the reason why you're going to lose is because you got a young quarterback or inexperienced quarterback, you're proving them true. Not because of the quarterback, but because these other guys can't do shit. So I don't know. I challenged them. Where is the heart and the mind of these players, especially the supposed leaders? Where are they at now? Where the hell are these guys at? Why are they not doing what they're supposed to do? Because for Kellen Moore to turn this around, they're asking them, well, we got to do this, we got to do that. That's speaking to the captains, the team captains. The team captains have to gain some accountability. And then Kellen Moore is going to have to start benching people. That's another power that Kellen Moore has. He has to start benching some of these guys because you can't lose the season, even though they're saying that you're going to be a worse team. You can't. You still got to show out. If you got guys that's not playing, you got to bench some of these guys. Cesar Ruiz needs to be benched. You might have to see if you can go out and try another guy at his position. You're going to have to mix it up. You have to state a message to this team that if your poor play will not be tolerated, I will have to bench you. I don't want to, but you give me no choice. I have to bench you. You have to bench Isaac Yiadom for Quincy Riley. You have to bench Cesar Ruiz and put somebody else in there. You got to bench these guys because they're hurting the team. And also, if we got to get to the point where Chris Olave, he had a better turnout, but it's still the fact that we have guys that can move and get upfield, and we still are dinky donkey doing this thing. We got to be able to still press. And I know Spencer shot the ball down the field to Elvin Kamara. Bob didn't mention that. He did say he threw the ball down to Elvin, but that was really on Elvin Kamara. He threw that ball out of there. Elvin was backpedaling to it. I don't know why Elvin Kamara turned around and started backpedaling and reaching his hand up for it. I don't understand that. All he had to do was turn his ass around and run full speed, run up under that ball. That's a deep touchdown. That would have changed the look of the game because it would kind of force them guys to play back. You kind of made it a little easier for them to run inside. But the optics of it is, at some point, you can talk all you want, Kellen. You're gonna have to start benching guys, bro. And if the veterans don't show up, some of these guys you might have to trade them on up out of here. I'm just gonna have to be, because that's the thing, that's the talking point of the thought process of people in the building that's not looking at the Saints and saying, oh, they're gonna be this bad. No, the Saints have enough talent to win. But if those guys that are supposed to be a part of the of making things work, the Chris Olaves and all these other type of guys, that the Juwan Johnsons, if those guys are not going to be the solution, then they have to be set down. Especially if you look at Cesar Ruiz, I think his time has run out. Cesar Ruiz needs to be benched. Cesar Ruiz is an embarrassment, and the guy is not good. He's not good. He's not good. He's not consistent. His footwork is bad. I don't know how they let this man fumble his way into a starting guard position in the NFL for 6 years now, whatever it is. Of terrible, inconsistent play and major grace people have been giving this guy. I've been saying this guy has been an eyesore and terribly inconsistent for a while now. And people are starting to see how bad he is. That has to change. We can't have nasty lines. So it's just the sweet and sour truth of the matter, so to speak, that the Saints will have to get better on. Anyway, let's look at this article right here. Saints chase Young dealing with, quote, tricky, quote, calf injury. This is Clutch on it, saying after signing a new $53 million extension during the offseason, Chase Young, 2025 season debut is up in the air with a tricky calf injury. After turning a quality year in as a rotational player for the Saints, he says New Orleans, the support base, have been patiently waiting for his 2025 debut. Unfortunately, according to Kellen Moore on Monday, that might take some time, as Young is currently dealing with a calf injury that could prove tricky over the course of the entire season. I thought it was not for us to worry about. Sometimes those are tricky injuries. Sometimes you got to see how this thing progresses. Moore told reporters via ESPN's Cat Terrell, he's doing everything he can, but we've got to do what's right for him, not just this week, but from a season-long perspective. Initially drafted into the league as a second overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, Young looked like a future Hall of Famer in his rookie season, being named to the Pro Bowl at the Defensive Rookie of the Year. But unfortunately, the Commanders, he simply never reached those heights, being traded to San Fran before his rookie contract ran its course. And let's see if I can get the rest of it here. Yeah, there you go. From there, Young signed a one-year, $13 million deal with the Saints, played well enough to earn a longer look, recording 31 tackles, 21 QB hits, and 5.5 sacks, and a forced fumble before signing a new 3-year, $51 million deal to serve as a long-term answer off the edge. Now, Young just has to get healthy enough to make good on that deal, sitting not so pretty at 0-3 with a trip to Buffalo for a September-ending battle royale with the Bills forthcoming. The Saints could really use a player like Young to put some pressure on opposing quarterbacks while easing up a bit of tension on Spencer Rattler. Unfortunately, as Moore noted, it's very up in the air when that will actually happen, as it sure sounds like Young will be a fixture of the Saints injury report this fall, with his status in one game likely unrelated to whether he will or won't play the following week. Very interesting article and well stated when you talk about the pass rush game and the opposite. Now, Carl Granderson is putting in a stellar effort, but his compatriot on the opposite side is missing. When Kellen Moore talked about this a while ago, he said it was nothing to see here, pretty much. Nothing to worry about. And look at it now, 3 weeks have passed and Chase Young is still not even close. He hadn't even been practicing. We talking practice. He hadn't been practicing. So, I mean, whatever it is, man, they will not allow him to practice with it. That ain't good. So what also isn't good is the fact that the Saints cannot rush the passer, which will serve for a difficult matchup nonetheless with Buffalo if you can't get the Josh Allen. You know, you can't get the Josh Allen. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Monday and Tuesday should be days where the Saints need to be having some tryouts. A couple of weeks ago they had 4 offensive linemen came in here. They tried. We need to bring in some people. We need to bring in a kicker to try out. We need to bring in the edge rusher to try out. We need to bring in somebody. And that's the thing also Kellen Moore needs to do. He needs to let these people know that there are always going to be players that we're going to bring in here nonstop until we get the right combination of people. I'm not comfortable with none of this that's going on right here. As long as the team is giving up and looking like this and sitting up here, we got a bunch of check cashers, man. We got check cashers on this team, man. Still infected from the last 4 years of failure from Dennis Allen, man. We need to get these check cashers out of here. We need people that want to earn that money by putting out a decent performance. They all need to get their money back after what they did and said none of them deserve a check for going up there and doing this. They don't deserve no paper for that. For where they gonna get, you don't shut their goddamn direct deposit down on that game and force them to get their money back on that. They don't deserve to get paid after that. They didn't even show up to that game. They didn't even show up. All right, so anyway, fam, let me go to y'all, man. Y'all throw it in the chat. Let me know how y'all feel, man. But yeah, this is some of the stuff. But the solutions are, okay, Q. We know the team is stinking it up right now, 0-3. How about solution time? All right, well, solutions. Here we go. Solutions for the Saints is taking a hard look in the mirror at themselves. You know, where's y'all and where are the overall intelligence, discipline, passion, courage, accountability, respect, all of that stuff, integrity, all of that. Where is all of that at? Where is that at? Because you're not going to win or do anything if you don't have that. That's number one. Number two is Kellen Moore is going to have to get more aggressive in his approach. And I know he's a nice guy and all this kind of stuff, but nice guys finish last. Tell them, ladies, nice guys finish last. And I'm not telling you to be a doofus or a moron or all this kind of stuff, but y'all know what I mean by that. Some people internalize nice as stupid, don't they? Tell the honest truth, be honest. The reality is he has to get more sterner. I'm not saying become a cursor and start railing on these guys, but no, start speaking, making your words have more impact by using your actions is what I'm saying. You know, make your actions match or your words match those actions by moving these guys, benching Cesar Ruiz, benching, what's his name? Isaac Yiadom, benching some of these guys, forcing Staley to play more athletic linebackers than Pete Werner. You know, moving them DeMario in and out, or moving Werner off the field and putting an athletic linebacker next to him. Finding a more bona fide pass rusher to help out, and finding a way to kind of, and you got to scheme it up. That's what they get paid for. Putting more pressure on these quarterbacks, getting rid of that soft coverage that they playing. I mean, it'll look different if you had linebackers that can get to the ball, that can cover areas. But our linebackers are too slow to cover the area that we're talking about. We're not a fast sideline to sideline defense. I do appreciate how the Saints are trying to do the gang tackle model, but our linebackers are not athletic enough to cover the space that we need them in the passing game. We need more athleticism at that level. We have two athletically challenged linebackers playing in the center of the defense, and the last two teams have notified and seen that and are passing the ball behind them and having success. We have to change that. We need to get faster and more athletic in the center of that defense. And we got to pull Pete out on certain plays and roll the other guy in. Whatever we got to do, we got to do it. You know, that's no, and like I said, Kellen Moore has to do that. He has to take these guys in and out. And a third option is keep the cycle of finding people and bringing them in for tryouts every Monday and Tuesday, bringing in new players, bringing in the kicker, the kick against Group A, or bringing another guy in, right? Bringing a guy in, bringing another, just bringing people in constantly over and over. You see what I'm saying? Bringing in people over and over again just to show them that, hey, man, we're not playing with y'all on this. We have to win. We're not going to be settled with losing and all this kind of old stuff. We're not going to be involved in that. We want to do it a little differently. You know, and then of course, like I said, man, it starts with that, and then you guys can go down the rest of it. But when you get beat down like this, it brings into more than just football. The way they lost the game, and then the way they lost control of the game early, and the way they folded like a cheap tent from the first quarter all the way to the rest of the game. When the second half happened, they didn't even come out and attempt to fight with their way back into the game. They came out with no sense of urgency. They were still operating like, oh yeah, man, whatever. They didn't come out the rest of that game, even though you know you wasn't going to win it. You have to still go out there and try to see if you can get something established. The rest of the game, they should have spent the goddamn time in the 2-minute offense. That's what they were saying anyway, is they got to start off fast. Well, guess what? They get punched in the mouth and they don't get fast anymore. That's all it takes to knock you out of your rhythm, is for them people to knock you on your ass a couple of times, and then you go back to your middle of the speed game. Remember what happened about being fast. Fast means fast, whether they hit you or whatever. If you're fast, then that means that you can be able to recoup 21 points and you got 3 quarters of play left. If your defense is on point, if your offense is fast and your defense get enough stops, you'll be able to catch them in 3 quarters if you're about your business. That's not what I've seen. They got popped down, knocked down, and then the rest of the game they coiled up in the fetal position and crawled with their tail between their legs on the plane and checked their phones to see if they got a direct deposit from the Saints for that. Disaster. Absolutely disaster. Shout out to you, Rich. Thank you. Says, can we plan with house money and have all of this oh, yeah, indeed, 4.3 speed. Why aren't we throwing the ball deep? Well, they did. Like I said, that's a point of emphasis, bro. That they got to get downfield. They have to get downfield. Like I said, we seen Elvin. He threw one to Elvin. Elvin, for whatever reason, turned backwards on that one. I don't know why he started backpedaling on a deep ball. I don't understand that. It was a few times he took shots down the field. Some of them were not well thrown balls and all this kind of stuff, but you still have to sucker the defense, and you still can't dinky donkey do it all the time. You got to push it up the field. You got to push it up the field. So we'll see what they got going on. And yes, you're right. They do have a lot of speed, but the speed is not translating. They're not using it properly. If you have a fast team, the Saints say they want to play fast. They got all these players, but they don't play fast. You know, they do not play fast. They do not have the tempo that you want to see them have, because if you have an offensive line issues, you have to be able to play with a tempo where you're getting the ball out fast. Like you're not giving them an opportunity to beat Ruiz. You're getting the ball, you're being decisive. The ball is coming out. You see what I'm saying? The ball is getting where it needs to getting upfield, this sort of thing. So I mean, we'll see what happens, bro. We'll see what happens. But thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
I want to say thank you very much for picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
All right, thank you, bro. Appreciate that. And this
Donations. Gifts. More gifts.
more gifts. All right, shout out to y'all, man. Thank you, Rich. Shout out to you, brother. All right. Anyway, man, listen, man. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. Brother Duke says, Q, Niners did it along the Seahawks. Yeah, I know, the copycat league, bro. We talked about that. They did the exact same thing. After the 49ers game was over with, I said it. I said, fam, the 49ers gave the rest of the NFL the way early to beat the Saints, and the Saints have not noticed it. They came out with the same basic principle defensive-wise, and that's on Staley. He did not adjust. They found a way to get behind them slow linebackers. He did not adjust. The pressure wasn't there. You can't drop into that soft-ass coverage with them non-athletic-ass linebackers and not have a pass rush. You got these quarterbacks. You got Mac Jones, people. Mac Jones and Sam Darnold out there looking like they first grade quarterbacks. That man he was 14 of 18. He had 4 incompletions. We gonna play defense. We gotta have 2 non-athletic ass linebackers, and we're gonna drop them in the coverage. We're not gonna give them the benefit of the pass rush to speed the quarterback up. We're gonna just hope the quarterback just is trash on his own and end up throwing the ball. That's crazy. You people crazy, man. Either crazy or delusional. I don't know what's going on, but this shit is insane, man. What's up, Barry? Says, Q, I told you Pete Warner is a liability. You did, bro. He is I'm saying, family, look, I got a lot of respect for Pete Warner and DeMario Davis, but these guys are not fleet of foot, man. They're not fleet of foot. And y'all seeing it. The tape shows it. We covered it on Patreon. Right? They're literally throwing behind those guys. And Staley comes out with the same plan against Sam Darnold. Well, Mac Jones got us in week 2, but I promise you, Sam Darnold's not going to do it. So you really looking for Sam Darnold. Just not. This guy's still an NFL quarterback, man. Regardless of not, he might not be one of the best, not even close, but he's still an NFL quarterback. He can't, we count on him not to make an incompletion, and he getting in there throwing balls that we don't even see that guy throw. That's Sam Darnold, man. He carved the Saints up. They're like, man, who the hell is this guy? It just seems like it's a spirit that goes into the bodies of every quarterback that we play, the no-name ones, right? And he was in the body of Mac Jones in week number 2, and then he left Mac Jones' body and went into Sam Darnold. And he following the Saints around. He following the Saints around into sad ass quarterbacks to make them beat us. Oh man, no, how we not doing nothing about that, man? Andrew says Kellen just got off the WWL. Give me Dennis Allen Voss, man, a field goal at yes, down 30 something. That was weird, but he defended that for whatever reason. And listen, I'm going to give him some grace, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because young head coach, never done it before. He's gonna have clock management issues. He'll have timeout issues. We've seen him have struggle with timeout situations in the last 3 weeks, and it won't stop. You know, he has to learn that aspect of it. But as his advisors around him are guys that been in a position where they've been around NFL coaches and all this kind of stuff, they're supposed to be in his ear advising him on some of this stuff. Where are they? And if he don't have those types, even Sean Payton had old coaches like Chaney that they used to bring in as special advisors and counselors, or what Sean would say would be an extra set of eyes for him. This is also something the reporter asked him, that does he talk to his father, or he needs to have a counselor or like an established guy, it'll be cool if he had a Tony Dungy type, you know, and bring bring him in as a coach and advisor. That would be cool to get one of these old retired coaches and just bring him in as an advisor or extra set of eyes to kind of help him out during his learning. I think that would be beneficial. We simply don't have that right now. You know, we simply don't have that. All right. So anyway, yeah, it's this weird spirit that's following the Saints around, throwing touchdowns, helping them, torching the Saints. Crazy work we got going on here. All right. Anyway, man. The QB spirit. That's right, Jack. Yeah, it's crazy work we got going on here. All kind of weirdness, bro. I don't know what's happening here. 504 Cole says, not giving up on Kellen. Yet Spencer, only one that showed heart. Wide receivers are running at half-ass. O-line and D-line absolutely quit, and the secondary was getting cooked. Yeah, all aspects were utterly repulsive, man. I laugh because these are professionals. These guys making a lot of money coaching and playing the children's game. It's not supposed to be terribly complicated. The reason why we're losing is because we're not executing, or we're not manning up in simple things. We're not practicing basic fundamental football philosophy, or even anything on the field that's close to it. You know, the fundamentals of football: tackling properly, catching the ball and securing it, blocking, which means clearing out guys. You know, if you're run blocking, clearing out the lanes, opening up lanes. Elvin's not getting the benefit of that. Neither is Kendre Miller. The basic fundamentals of football the Saints are failing on. And it's the veterans, the high-priced veterans that we have, that is not carrying the day for us. They're not. If guys make catches, we win games. You know, if guys make touchdown grabs, we win games. If guys make field goals, we win games. If guys tackle, we win games. If guys don't create stupid penalties. And all of the brain-neutral penalties, the false starts, the illegal line shifts, and all of that, the pre-snap penalties is the thing that speaks to not only the non-intelligence of the collective of the Saints, but also it speaks to a ratchet discipline principle that exists within the culture of this team. They are awful when it comes down to being smart and being disciplined, and you won't win a damn thing like that. So Kellen Moore, man, outside of just that, I mean, this team is, you know, I'm not trying to mince words, but they're dumb and they're undisciplined. As a collective, they are. I mean, how many penalties? What the Saints are like tops in the NFL in penalties through 3 weeks. It's no matter why they 0-3. I mean, if you take the penalties away, the Saints are probably 2-1 in some of these games, if not 3-1. If you take the penalties away, the game, they might have lost to Seattle, but it would, at least in 2 of the games, they would have won them. So it's just the fact that they're so stupid and so brain neutral that the penalties they're self-sabotaging themselves. They're sabotaging themselves. They are literally a team against themselves outside of Seattle and the refs. and anybody else that lines up with them. That's how terrible this team is. They're so stupid and non-disciplined that they would push the opponent down and end up sabotaging themselves to lose. And then walk off like, man, we should have won. How you going to win? You going to win. You can't have more mistakes than the other team and talk about beating them. That's basic football fundamentals. They're not a principled team. And that's what I'm saying. I would challenge whoever these so-called leaders are that are players on the field. Guys need to be benched, and some of these guys need to be traded, to be honest with you, because they don't fit. They fit the old team or whatever Dennis Allen was doing, but some of these guys, they don't fit what the Saints are doing. Some of these guys need to be traded and gotten out of here, and I'm not talking about Elvin. Some of these guys on defense, they need to be traded and gotten out of here. For the Saints need athletic linebackers there, and the two that's there don't fit what they got going on with Staley's system. You need guys that can move and cover space and blitz. That's not what we have here. They're killing the Saints with those guys. They're killing the Saints. And like I said, man, yeah, Quincy Riley needs to get in there. Quincy Riley needs to get in there, and they need to sit Yidam down. Yidam should be traded. I mean, really, I liked it. I liked it. The other kid that we had that they let him go, but still in all, man. You know, you really need to kind of look at Quincy Riley. Jonas Sinker and Quincy Riley are the future in the secondary. Kool-Aid McKinstry, my bad. Crystal Light McKinstry, right now, he gonna get back to Kool-Aid. But Crystal Light McKinstry right now is a liability, and he will get better as he is being torched and burned. He will ultimately get better. But for right now, Crystal Light McKinstry will be his name right now until he earns Kool-Aid back. He's no longer Kool-Aid. He's he's Crystal Light McKinstry. That's right. I can't take credit for that. Robin, shout out to Robin, man. Crystal Light McKinstry. Oh, that's a killer, man. That shit is funny, man. That's diabolical, Robert. You wrong for that one, brother. But I asked for a nickname. I said, fam, listen, we need to come up with another name for Kool-Aid because he's not playing like Kool-Aid. That's too cool for his lack of play right now. We need to come up with a nickname that's fitting of Kool-Aid McKinstry. And Robert says Crystal Light McKinstry. Diabolical. Kool-Aid McKinstry is Crystal Light McKinstry. He really is, too. This son bitch leaped over him, bro. He's Crystal Light McKinstry until further notice, family. He's Crystal Light McKinstry. Oh, man. Yeah, hey, man, listen, man. We gonna do it, man. It's the bottom line is we gonna wait and see what these guys do, fam. I don't have any idea with Kellen Moore, but I just gave my little input in there. Kellen Moore needs to bench some of these guys. He really does. Ruiz needs to hit them. Them guys need to be benched. And all the talking is over with, fam. It's been 3 weeks of talking and shitty football play, and this one is enough of the talk. Talking is over with. Ain't no cussing at no man making millions of dollars, and he checking your bank account. And Cam cussing at him, and the guy on his phone checking his bank account. Yeah, Cam, I know I ain't tripped. Okay, yeah. It ain't no cussing at no man making millions. If that ain't enough to motivate you to have some respect for yourself and for the mighty Who Dat Nation, that's all right. We'll get you together. We got too many check cashers on this team, man. Too many holdovers from the Dennis Allen era. We can't be holding on to the past with DeMario and all these other dudes. These guys, some of these guys, if it's not Pete Werner, don't fit Staley's system, they got to go, man. Some of these guys got to go. If you're trying to do something with the season, because it don't make no sense. You can make some moves now and change the culture of the team. The team is 0-3 right now. If they can't galvanize and say, oh, shit, the whole world against us, we got to go in there and surprise the world by beating the Buffalo Bills and turn our season around, I'm not one of them dudes sit up here saying I picked the Saints to beat the Buffalo Bills because they're showing no passion, no heart, no intelligence, no nothing. So I'm not going to go out on a limb for a team that ain't even got no heart. That's not even willing to go on a limb for themselves. that thing by veterans standing in front of them cussing at each other, that'll get them together when their pride and dignity should pull them to say, man, let's go out here and represent for these people because they showing up big for us. They showing up and paying their money to see us, and we up here doing this type of bullshit. You know, they don't even have the common sense and dignity for that. So at the end of the day, I'm not riding for I'm not stepping up and put myself on a limb for a team that ain't showing no heart, no intelligence, bro. You know, I'm picking Buffalo to kick them between what my dog load between a washing machine and a dryer. That's exactly where they're gonna be. Terrible. But in the end, we shall see. I give it is a 1% chance the Saints beat Buffalo. But after what I seen last week, man, Buffalo's doing the Birdman hand rub looking at the Saints. Straight up and down. All right. Anyway, big ups to the fam. Jesse says our defense would be tough if they had kept Davin.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Just our defense would be tough if we not kept Davenport. Turner, if we not kept him. Okay, no. Now, I got what you I thought I read something differently. I thought you was making a joke, Jesse. He said our defense would be tough if we not kept Davenport Turner. I would like to see Hendrickson and Granderson on edge. Yeah, okay, I got you, bro. I thought you said something different. My bad. P.J. Williams played better than Kool-Aid. Oh, my God. Peanut butter and jelly. Boy, playing better than, oh, my good. Kool-Aid McCann. I never, you know what? You might have a point on that. I never seen somebody jump over P.J. Williams' head. I never seen that happen. But anytime we as the Who Dat Nation is invoking the name of P.J. Williams involving one of our cornerbacks who's supposed to be a really good player, we are in trouble. Shout out to you. And by the way, Davenport was placed on IR today. He's on the IR. Just to let you know. Crazy work. All right. Anyway, man. Listen, fam, I'm going to get ready to get out on that. If y'all like it, please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, man. Feel free to share. Jameen819 says, bring in Simmons. He's looking for a job right now, although he didn't do that great in ATL. I don't know if they do. I don't know if they're going to spend some money to go out and get Justin Simmons and bring him here. I don't know. I think Kellen Moore and Staley's looking pretty comfortable with Jonas Sanker. They feeling pretty comfortable with the guys they have. I think, who could we bring in to generate a pass rush? What could we do about that? We need somebody to help out with our pass rush. We're not generating any pass rush at all. And usually when you do that, you kind of hurry the quarterback into an interception or even a fumble. So we are not getting to the quarterback, and that's a problem. And the guy just standing back there just picking the Saints' slow-ass defense apart. They're non-aggressive. It did change like the 49ers. The second half of the 49ers game and the entirety of the Seattle game was basically the same thing in terms of the defense. They didn't do anything different. It's just ridiculous. All right. So anyway, man, I don't know. It's just I don't know what to tell y'all, fam. Outside of the obvious, it's the inside stuff that I speak about that they're not exhibiting. And if you're not exhibiting that, then you're basically a dead football team that's collecting checks. So is that what we have here? Obviously with 0-3. Can they turn it around? Anything and everything is possible. I don't know what they're going to do, man. But like I said, that type of affair makes you look in the mirror at yourself and really do some soul searching and some introspection. That's what it basically goes into. So I just don't understand, but we got to turn it around some kind of way. So like I said, I like Kellen Moore. I think he is a smart guy. I just think that I don't know how he reaches these players outside of benching some of these guys and going through the practice. But we practice all week and this is the best you look. I don't know, fam. I don't know. This is quite the position, man, to be in. I really hate the fact that the national people are smiling saying, I told you about the Saints. But they were saying that the Saints was going to be bad because the quarterback play. The Saints aren't bad because of the quarterback. They're bad because the veterans are not showing up. That's the truth. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter because the Saints are 0-3 and a laughing stock. off of their own inability to believe in themselves and execute. So it's still a long season. I don't know where they go from here, but you most certainly, they're at the bottom of the barrel now and ain't nowhere left to go but up. Maybe they can, this moment will serve as a furnace to galvanize them, to crystallize them into something. You know, sometimes these type of things do serve in life. You have hardships that, you know, depending on your perspective, that, you know, stumbling blocks become, you know, building blocks. It depends on your perspective. But that's with so many people, that has to be a uniform thought process throughout the entire Saints team. Is that the type of perspective that these guys operate with? Could this be a galvanizing moment after being humiliated like this to Seattle? Time will tell, fam. This is a very confusing rendition of the Saints in 2025. All right, Wyo says call it what it is, Q. Mickey and Gail, not good people. That's right, Jason. At least we have the Tigers, baby. Go Tigers. All right, what's up, Tim? Shout out to you, man. St. John 34 says yesterday's defense would make Foskey look high. Indeed, man. Indeed, bro. Duke says, I do like the idea that Saints should bring in older veteran coach to assist. Hey, I think I was like, that's something Coach Payton did. Coach Payton would go and find, he had older coaches like Coach Chaney and others that were retired head coaches that were like involved in football from the college and NFL level for like 30 plus years. These guys, 40 years, these guys were lifetime coaches. They're retired and Coach Payton just offered them a job to come in and just be an extra set of eyes to watch out and give him advice on things. Kellen Moore needs that. You know, his father is a football guy. He might not reach to his dad, but maybe he could find somebody that was in the NFL. He needs some help. He needs a veteran ear there. Willie says if Moore doesn't turn this around, Saints are looking at 0-4 and more. I think they'll be 0-4, bro. I don't think they beat Buffalo. L-Dub says, look what the Falcons did by firing their receivers coach today after they lost yesterday. You got to shake it up. And, of course, you know the head coach there is on the hot seat. He has to step up. So, you know, they're very short of patience. And I know these guys that just got here, so it's a different effect when you just walk through the door versus what the Falcons have. Yeah, that guy been in his third year now, so it's pressing on him. You know, it's pressing on him for him to turn up some victories. But yeah, it's a situation like you can at least start benching guys when they have an effort like that. That was that bad. Guys got to be benched. People got to be brought in for tryouts. I would try out a new kicker. You know, even if you don't sign, just bring the guy in for a trial just to scare the hell out of Groupie. I know they still have Charlie Smith. I think they got Charlie Smith on the practice squad. You know, I think they still got him on the practice squad as well. What's up, Tasha? Start out to Tasha on IG. Much love. Hold on, fam. Let me see something right quick. I just had a thought about Matavo. Saints released Matavo. Let me see if they added him back to the practice squad. Hold on, I just thought about that. Let me just check on that right quick. See if they added Matavo back to the practice squad because they did release him. He looked terrible in that game in the 49ers game. Let me see if they added him back to the practice squad. Let me see. Nope, Matavo's not there. Yeah, he's not on the practice squad. He's still out there. I ain't had enough time. Let me see if anybody claimed him. I don't know. Just something I just checked. Let's see where he at right now. He's still out there, I won't say. Yeah, he was let go, about a day ago? Yeah, he's still out there. I just had that thought. I was like, man, didn't he? But he's not officially back with the Saints, according to what I'm looking at here. He was let go by the Saints, and I think he's a free agent out there right now. Unless they claimed him and they didn't report him. We'll know by tomorrow. All right, but anyway, just wanted to know. All right, Jason says, hey, Q, do make it look. So what, bro? Online now, goddammit. Hold on, you guys in the chat, I see you. Hold on. You guys want to blame me for all this stuff. Well, hold on. Let me tell you something. Because I was supposed to talk on WWL last week, and I didn't do it because I do whatever I want to do. I know I got a contract, but I'm Slick Mickey. I do whatever I want now. I do whatever the hell I want, you know. Now, you can blame me all you want, you know. Let me tell you something. This is the Saints are going to win, baby. I personally guarantee a win in Buffalo coming up in week 4. I'm going to tell you something, man. Hold on. I promise that. Hold on. Next week, week 4 against the Buffalo Bills. Y'all remember? Are you young people out there? And it was a fighter, and you might not know his name. It was Muhammad Ali. I used to want to fight like Muhammad Ali. I used to, a guy punched me, and I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm just going to watch him on TV." I was trying to, It's not for everybody, so I just started being in football. I just said, I'm going to be an exec. But anyway, listen, he said, "You're going to float like a butterfly." Well, hold on, not that one. He said he was going to shock the world, baby. And hold on now, and that's what that's what we're going to do against the Buffalo Bills. We're going to shock the world. Yeah, hold on now. You watch and see. We're going to shock the world. That's what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. That's what Mickey going to do. Mickey says you're going to shock the world. So we're going to shock the world. Mickey's picking the Saints to beat the Buffalo Bills. And if it worked, man, y'all know y'all got it first from Mickey Q. All right, Saints Full Circle Podcast says Kellen Moore said he want everybody to play up to their superpowers. We gotta understand nobody. Did he say that? He must be a Marvel guy or one of these guys. He look like a video game head. Jay says, Q, you realize we didn't have an undrafted free agent running back show out during OTs or et cetera. We also had a running back show out. Yeah, we always have. Yeah. Well, you had, what was the kid's name? He did okay. He was okay out of college, but he didn't show out. You're right. Who was the undrafted guy we had here? The running back from Toledo? Was it Toledo? One of the places, and he just didn't. They try to give him a chance in preseason. He just didn't have it. That's true. We didn't have one. The guy had good prospects, but he just didn't show up as anything. He really didn't. All right, Dr. Gray said, I know Mickey didn't just mention. That's right. Oh yeah, Dr. Gray. Hold on now. Hold on. That's right, baby. Muhammad Ali. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Hold on now. Hold on. I guarantee we're gonna shock the world. You're gonna shock the world. We'll be king of the world. That's right. I said it, Dr. Gray. Hold on now. Andrew says, coming into this game, we're at a top 3 defense. Going into on first and second down. Come on, man. First, Mac Jones, now Darnold. Josh Allen going to have Crystal Light McKinstry grabbing them ankles in the end zone all day. Crystal Light McKinstry. We just started some stuff, fam. Crystal Light McKinstry. Crystal Light McKinstry. Indeed. Hey, man. Kool-Aid got to play better to get his name back, fam. You got to play that. Marcus Yarns. There you go. Thank you, St. John 34. Jack says he's from Delaware. That's right. The Jackrabbits, I want to say. Yeah, the Jackrabbits, is that them? Kevin says, how many GMs would keep their job after 4 going on 5 years? I mean, Mickey Loomis is in a unique situation, bro. He really is. He's very unique. Dr. Gray said, thanks, Q. I had watery eyes yesterday and put my hoodie on. I hear you, Dr. Gray. Don't worry, brother. We're going to have fun regardless. Whatever the case may be, man. Win, lose, or draw, bro, we're going to still be repping and having a good time, man. So it is. Yeah, Barry says, yeah, that's funny, man. I know, Barry. Crystal Light McKinstry. Shout out to Rob. Let me get a man a round of applause. Shout out to Robert, man. Robert gets credit for that. What's up, Dominique? Yeah, Robert gets credit for that, man. That was funny. Chris, that's his name. That is his name until he plays better. That's his name. It's Crystal Light McKinstry. It's no longer cool. It's no longer Kool-Aid. It is Crystal Light McKinstry. All right, so with that being said, fam, I'm going to skedaddle on that. Listen, y'all do me a service. Please feel free to hit the like button. Hit the sub button. If you're not a sub up to the coma. the share button, and the bell for notifications when we come back. Tomorrow we'll be on Patreon. That's right, fam. Patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. Link in the description section. We'll be on there for our YouTube and Patreon membership family. We'll be doing the film work on the Saints versus the Seattle Seahawks game. And listen, fam, it's a lot to learn. I know the tape might look bad, but it's a lot to learn in the film. I was looking at it earlier today. It's a lot to learn in it and to get better and do better. So even with some of the bad film, the Saints could learn from some of the mistakes, make better throws upfield. They had a few people that was open. The blocking game, the angles, the tape never lies. It shows all of the nastiness and good in its full entirety. So I mean, it's positive. It's a positive. You can pick out a positive from what we did yesterday to improve upon if you're looking for it, right? So anyway, yeah, that's what I'll be doing tomorrow, and we'll break it down. So anyway, if you want to be a part of that, link in the chat, link in the description section. With that being said, I'm out, and I'm going to holler at y'all on Tuesday. And for the rest of the family members, I'll see y'all on Wednesday. Much love. Who that to you? Peace.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. You're
listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. That's right, at the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who Dat Nation.